Hey guys, Lego Freak here, and 400 subscribers. I don't even know what to say. Like, just my mind can't handle the awesomeness. Anyways, thank you guys for all the support for the 400 subs. Wow. I think it's like 406, I think, something like that now. Dang, oh, another subscriber special, and I'm doing this again. Anyways, so today we're going to be doing an in-depth sculpting tutorial. Now, I have no idea how long this is going to be. Currently, I'm filming this on Saturday. But if it's not uploaded on Saturday, the reason is because my iPad doesn't store a lot of memory, and that's what I edit my videos on. So, if I don't get it up on Saturday, just understand that's why. It's because, like, it's going to be a long video. I know it is. I'm doing it again. Dang. What is it with this? Anyway, so I got a few shout-outs, so we're going to kind of get into it quickly so that we can kind of make it a little bit shorter, because I don't want it to be super long. My last in-depth thing was an hour, so we'll see how this goes. First shout-out goes to Jackson Finley. So, yeah. Next one, Dr. Duck Hunt Customs. So, yeah. Next one, Alex Taylor. Next one, Tyler Nguyen. I don't know. Next one, Mason Iguanez. Yeah, something like that. And the last one goes to Angel Villoria. So yeah. And that's the first shout out, so let's just kind of jump into the in-depth tutorial and see how doing it again. See how this goes! Alright guys, so I have no idea how this is going to turn out, the overall video. My camera keeps refocusing. I don't know if it'll do it during the actual sculpting tutorial. Now this here is Steve, and Steve is going to help me demonstrate my sculpting. So, yeah, now if you don't know, in my in-depth painting tutorial, I pretty much showed you how I paint stuff. Now I'm going to show you how I sculpt stuff. So it's probably going to be a lengthy video, but, you know, buckle up and we'll go for the ride together. So, just some things to note. First of all, this is just my method. You can take this and change it however you want to actually make it better for you. But for me, this works really well, and this is how I sculpt stuff. So, you know, don't feel like you have to follow it exactly. You know, change stuff up to kind of make it so you're more comfortable. Anyways, things I use to sculpt, obviously. Let me grab it. Clay. Again, this is Walmart air dry clay, which is why it's in a baggie. Baggie's all beat up. But anyway, I would recommend getting air clay because cooking clay just it can do weird stuff to your Legos. So yeah, but whatever clay you're comfortable using. Now tools that I really use just to sculpt, basically just toothpick here. My thumbtack that I use for painting as well. I do have a bent one for kind of difficult angles. I just kind of bent the needle. You can see that there. So it's just easier to reach stuff with at times. And actually, I use my fingernail, and I might show you how that works. Just sort of how I do it. But yeah, so basically we're going to start with probably one of the most common things you'll end up sculpting for superheroes and people like that. And that is shoulder pads. So let me reach into my baggie. The thing about air dry clay is obviously you have to keep it in an airtight place, otherwise it's all just going to dry out. So I got a little piece here, and basically, let's hope my camera can focus. So I don't need nearly that much. I'm just going to take maybe that, just about, and we're going to grab Steve here. And Steve, you're going to get some nice shoulder pads. So basically, I just kind of push it on there. Whoa. And I don't put my figures on a stand to sculpt. I just feel like if they're in my hand, I have more control. So yeah, and first things first, I make sure that the arm still rotates and everything, the clay doesn't stick to the actual torso. And then basically I start the long process of kind of cleaning this up. I just kind of push it around. You can see it's really uneven and weird looking now. So basically I just take this and I start kind of just chipping away at it like this, you can see, and I just kind of take that and wipe it off. And then basically what I'm looking for is it to be nice all around. I hope you can see that there. Let me wipe that off. And yeah, I'm not really sure exactly how to describe what I'm doing right now, but basically it's just, here, focus please. Please, Phil. Thank you. So you can see it's just uneven, and I kind of take this and I just kind of scrape down a little bit. Not with the point, because that'll actually scrape the Lego figure. I'm just taking the side and kind of just rubbing it down to remove some of the excess. Come on. It's not going to be the best shoulder pad I've ever sculpted, and this can take a couple tries. You know, it can take a couple of attempts to get this right. So you can see it's uneven there. Now, sometimes what I like to do if it's uneven, you can see right there, is I take my fingernail and I kind of just push up underneath, and that kind of levels it off a bit. Not perfect, but you can see that it levels it off quite a bit there. So yeah, now sometimes I like to switch to the toothpick here. And again, it's a little weird because I've never really sculpted with like a phone propped up in front of me, because I'm used to just doing it by myself. Gosh, moving my set and everything. So yeah, this is not going to be the most like organized video in the world, but alright. So it's kind of starting to take shape. That looks really strange. It's a strange shoulder pad, but you guys get the gist. Let me kind of push it to the front maybe. Oh gosh. I just did all kinds of bad stuff to it. Alright, let's see if we can fix this. And yeah, this can take quite some time, so sculpting is not something to rush into. Which is why this video is probably going to be insanely long. So, if you watch the whole thing, thank you. Because it means a lot. And I really hope that this helps. Like, I'd hate to think I make a super long video for nothing. Like, if it doesn't help anybody. Like, what's the freaking point? Let me kind of see if the arm moves. I always make sure the arm rotates, because if the clay hardens to the torso and you try and move the arm, chances are it's going to snap the clay. Come on. Alright, so again, not the best shoulder pad ever, but whoa, come on. Yeah, well, yeah, it actually looks pretty good. So basically, you know, and you can paint that obviously however you want, and you can make all kinds of different shoulder pads. You know, again, this one's a little strange looking, just because I'm trying not to take way too long. But yeah, you kind of get the idea. And then basically, when this hardens, it does come off. Like, and by come off, I mean it doesn't break like the clay, but it does come off. Like the shoulder pad slips off in one piece. I might actually show you that, like a shoulder pad that comes off, and basically what I do is I just glue it back on, because the clay itself doesn't like break or anything, but it does come off the arm because there's nothing to hold it on there. Right now it sticks because it's wet, but as soon as the clay dries, the whole shoulder pad tends to pop off, and then I just glue it back on. So, and also while the clay is wet, you can also trace in patterns for shoulder pads. So you know, you could do lines. I just might do like a line across there. There we go. So kind of a little indent, and when that dries, it'll be nice and hard and ready to go. Whoa, Steve, work with me. All right. So we have this piece of clay here now. Well, it's drying out though, so I'm gonna get a new piece. So yeah, that's kind of shoulder pads. I hope that explained some things. Again, I don't want this video to be super long, because I really don't want my phone to run out of memory. But I hope you guys get the idea. So yeah, we'll kind of leave that on there. Actually, no, we'll take that off. Why? Because I don't want it to get in the way. So, got another piece of clay here, and next thing we're gonna do is chest plate. Now this is gonna be hard to film. Gosh, this is a difficult thing to sculpt. It's not easy. So, first thing, take a clump of clay and push it onto Steve's chest. Now the first thing, at least with my clay, the first issue you'll come across is the fact that it won't stick very well. I mean, I could just push it right off. Like, it's kind of stuck, but if I, push on it too much, it will come off. So the first hard part is to keep it on his chest while I'm sculpting. I can't really glue it because, it's still like wet clay, and the glue probably wouldn't stick very well. And by the time the glue dried, the clay would dry. So it's just kind of a hard process. So first thing, I kind of chip off some of the stuff that hangs over. Just kind of wipe it off. So, and again, this is not an easy thing to sculpt, at least for me. But and if you guys have any tips, I'd love to hear it in the comments. From customizer to customizer. All right. Go ahead and move that. And you can take the arms off the figure. In this case, I won't, but you can to make the getting off the excess a little bit easier. So, lordy. All right. There we go. That's a little bit better. Then I I kind of scrape it off like where I want the chest plate to end. So just taking off all this excess clay. Come on, get off. Let's see, that's a little bit too low still. I think that's good. So, I know it looks awful right now. We'll fix that though. So, first take my fingernail and kind of push up just to kind of level it out. The reason I use my fingernails is just because, I don't know, it's just level and it's there. It's just easy to use. Alright, come on. Work with me, clay. Work with me. Yeah. You know, in hindsight, I probably should have done this on like a... Stop it. On like a black... Or, black Lego torso, just so the clay would be easier seen. So yeah, you can kind of see the issue starting to arise now, is the fact that the clay just keeps moving about and really doesn't stay in one spot. This is really what makes this hard. But once you get it, it's a little bit bulky too. But yeah, so then what I do usually... Let me flatten that out a bit. What I do usually is I'll take it and I'll do a line like down the middle, and the middle just I kind of eyeball it, like it's impossible to really tell. I kind of use the neck, like the middle of the, just where I think that the neck is. That's a little uneven, but then I just kind of put the line in it. And one of the issues with air dry clay is you have to use it while it's wet. Obviously, you can't go putting stuff on it or mixing or moving it about when it's dry. So yeah, now that I got my little chest plate line down the middle there, you can see that a little bit. There we go. We'll keep taking off some of the excess, and again, that's probably the hardest part, is getting off all the stuff you don't need. Like, look at all that. Like, that's all the stuff that I didn't need from that little ball, and the fact that it doesn't really, like, the chest plate doesn't really stay on very well is an issue, just because it moves about. So, and again, I am still learning to sculpt, but I just hope that this clears up some stuff. When I say that I sculpted this, I sculpted that, you guys can kind of understand. So again, it's not perfect, and if this was actually for a custom, I'd probably work a bit more on it to get it a little bit more perfect, but you guys get the idea of how I do it. Of course, I did this for like my Arkham Knight Batman, but I just spent quite a bit of time trying to just get it right and put the right shapes and stuff in it. And obviously you can carve all kinds of lines and stuff into the chest plate once it's done, but you can see it sticks off about that much. You can make it thinner or thicker depending on how much you want it to stick out. But yeah, so you guys hopefully get the basic idea of how I sculpt body armor and chest plates and things like that. So I'll go ahead and wipe that off, and we'll move on to the next part. We get another little piece of clay here. Alright, now we're going to work on masks. Now, this again isn't the easiest procedure in the world. So, first thing I do when I'm sculpting a mask, and I'm talking about masks for like people like my custom Deadshot or Crossbones, which I showed in a video, but I'll show him later. Just masks, and you'll see what kind of masks. Basically, what you want is you want to find a head with where the eyes are. Like, for instance, this is a sunglasses head, obviously. You can see where the eyes are about this far apart. And what you're looking for is a head that has the eyes far enough apart. Because if they're too close together on a head, then they look weird when they're sticking through the mask. Let me give you an example. Here he is. So like my Lego Deadshot here. You can see that the eyes, they look about, they look far enough apart. If they were closer together, it'd look kind of weird, like he was cross-eyed. So kind of just find a head that has the eyes at a distance that you want, because if you want the eyes to actually show through the mask, that's kind of what I'm showing you how to do. So I'll just show you this figure, little sneak peek. Crossbones, you can see, whoa, focus, you can see his eyes actually through the mask there. There we go. Yeah, so he's not done yet though. Anyways, so that's kind of what I'm going to show you, because I think that that's a really useful thing for like Deathstroke or something. So yeah, now you're gonna need quite a big chunk of clay. Whoa. Wow. Also, won't do a ton of editing on this video just because I know it's going to be a longer video. So, kind of pull the head up a bit is what I do. I usually separate it from the torso there. And this is where the hard part begins. Kind of push this on and just fold it or bend it, kind of mold it around the head. And this is really hard to do, just because, you don't want the stud to pop through on the top, and you don't want, there to be too little clay. So basically I just kind of take it and I smush it from the front over to the back here. Oh, come the heck on. Alright, here we go. Here, we're getting it. We're getting it. And it's just kind of a working, kneading, moving process type thing that goes on until you get the mask to there. Now, perfect, right? No, I'm just kidding. It looks awful, and that's okay. That's to be expected. Don't panic. Yeah, that's one thing. Don't expect perfection right from the get-go. It's going to look really dumb, like right now. Look at that. Looks really stupid, which is okay. Next thing I do is I take a toothpick or whatever, and I put it on the neck. And the reason for that is I can level off the mask this way. I kind of level it off so that it's at the neck point, if you know what I mean. Like, I take it and I scrape it down so that I get off all the excess. Which again is pretty much the hard part of sculpting for me, is getting off all the junk that I don't need, like this. Like all this excess clay that just kind of got smooshed to the bottom. I really don't need it all on there. And so it just kind of whoa, sorry about that. I want to keep this in camera. Gosh. That focus though, no. So, we're just going to kind of take off all this excess stuff that we just don't need. Yeah. Now, I'm going to clean it up a bit. Alright, really I'm trying to make this entertaining as well. So, there you go. So you can kind of see it's leveling off there. And I think that'll be good. Like, I can let it dry like that and it'll be fine. Whoa. Back's uneven. I want to fix that. And again, one of the issues with air dry clay is you're really going to have to play around with it and get used to sculpting, because you have to work pretty quick, because of if it dries, then you're pretty much screwed. There we go. There we go. All right. Now for the eye part. This part is pretty difficult, I'm not going to lie. You kind of have to just eyeball it. No pun intended. Basically, you're going to have to kind of guess where the eye's at. I'm going to say there. And then basically, I have to go through this process of kind of scraping down and looking. And I can kind of peek in that little hole and see if I'm on the eye or not. In this case, I am. So then I just keep scraping around until the part that I want is revealed. And I know it looks weird. It looks like you got shot in the face or something. But it will look better, I promise. So it's just kind of a matter of revealing whatever you want revealed. In this case, I'm going to reveal like the eye, like the sunglass part. Then you take my fingernail and I kind of smooth out the little stuff that's coming off. You can see it just kind of smooths right out. Like if I take the top of my finger and just scrape it. I'll scrape it hard, but softly. It kind of blends into the mask a bit. Again, clay sculpting is no quick matter. You kind of have to take it slow. And I am going a little bit quick just to get, again, because I don't want this video to be super long. Because, I don't know if you guys have time to watch super long videos. So, come on. And so, yeah, it's just kind of a matter of trying to reduce the excess again. Just try and get the excess off. And I know that the bottom here is not even, but the reason I'm not worrying about it is because I got most of the excess off, and so when the rest of it dries, I can sand the bottom and make it even. So that's why I'm not really worried about the bottom anymore. Alright, so there you go. You can kind of see the eye there, and I could do it on the other side, but I'm not going to, just because it's the same process. Just kind of guesstimate where the eye is, and you'll get better at knowing where it is. But yeah, so then just kind of reveal what you want revealed. Now, I'm actually going to let this dry, and then I'll show you kind of the finishing touches at the end. So I'm just going to leave that back there, and I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll show you that later. So, next thing, I'm going to grab another random minifigure torso. Ah, here we go. This is just a random torso I had lying around. This eventually will be Spider-Man from Civil War. believe it or not. So yeah, now something you guys wanted to see, I don't know if all of you wanted to see it, but I'm going to show you, is, there we go, here's a face. Yeah, it's the Deadpool head. Now if you haven't seen my Deadpool, which probably most of you have, it has this little thing on the back, you know, the stud's not there, and it's got the little flap thing that Deadpool has. I don't even know what to call that. And some of you wanted to see it, so I'd be happy to show you while that thing in the back dries. That looks creepy back there. He's coming for you. No. Alright, so again, kind of just grab a bit of clay. It's probably going to be to grab more clay than you think you'll need, because it's really hard to like tell an exact amount, so, and it's easier to take clay off than to put more on. So basically, the process was just kind of push it on. What's a good video without a fart noise, right? All right. So, and then just kind of, again, we struggle with the same issue, trying to keep it on the head while we remove stuff. Something that helps me do this is I will sometimes take a thumbtack and like kind of pull the clay down. You can see that kind of attaches it to the head a little bit more firmly, just so that I can kind of take excess off and not worry about it coming off. So we're just gonna just sculpt it around, just kind of moving as we go, and then I kind of start forming the little flap in the back. And I know it looks like way too much clay on his head right now. We'll remove a bunch, but I'm just trying to get an idea of where everything's gonna be. So I take my fingernail and I start flattening it out so that it is, you know, like right above his head. So that's the same. What's the word? So it doesn't stick out too far to the sides, you know. And I swear all this stuff, like after you sculpt it, it looks weird, but when you paint it, it looks so much better. Like, trust me. So yeah, and basically with Deadpool, I didn't like actually put clay on his face. It was just the top part. So yeah, gosh. All right, so time to start getting excess off the back. So I just kind of, well, go about the same way. Just take the toothpick and just go about scraping off the stuff that we don't need, which is a lot of it at this point. Man, it's been a while since I've done some serious sculpting. I think the last thing I sculpted was Batman's armor for Batman vs. Superman, which was insanely hard to sculpt, I might add. So yeah, and just kind of push that. Okay. This video might not be as long as I thought, which is a good thing. But yeah, again, my in-depth painting video was an hour long, which is crazy. For me, anyway. Now, it might be a little too tall, like a little bit too much over the stud of the head, on the head. But I think for demonstration purposes, it's alright. Again, I'm sorry I'm not making these like perfect, but they aren't going to be used on customs at all. They're just to kind of show you the basic idea. And again, I want you guys to take this kind of method and edit it so that it makes, you know, you're more comfortable using it. And again, once it dries, you can do some minor adjustments, but nothing major. So, you know, I could take it and sand it a bit so it looks a bit better, and things like that. And I might actually do that at the after these dry, just to kind of show you more of the end result. And I'll also maybe show you what they look like painted. I won't show you me painting them, but I'll show you what they look like when they're painted. So, I think for now, that's okay. And I know it looks insanely weird now, but again, I can kind of clean it up later. In fact, let me do a little bit more right now. The flap looks a bit too big, so. And again, I really do hope that this video helps you guys sculpt some stuff, because I'd hate to have a video that's just pointless. So, there we go, that's better. So, wait. I am a bit of a perfectionist, so it's weird to kind of not do a perfect job. But again, these aren't going to be used for any customs. These are just for demonstration purposes. So, and you know, with like Deadpool's mask, I took a lot longer to sculpt it. It took me a couple tries to get it. So, you know, be patient with the sculpting. Take time, and basically, yeah, that's kind of it, what the head looked like. And obviously, I painted the face red. So, yeah, gosh, yeah, there's a bit too much over here. Let me take that off. So So, wow. So yeah, you can kind of see what they look like next to each other. At that, so yeah. So basically, I'm gonna cut the camera. I'm gonna let these dry, and then I'll show you probably the finishing, cleaning up and sanding and that sort of thing with these two type of things. But I really do hope that this video kind of helped, and you can let me know in the comments. I'm trying to keep it from getting too long. Fortunately, it's not very long right now. It's just almost 30 minutes. So I think I'll shoot for 30 minutes. But yeah, so I'll let these dry and I'll get right back to you. Alright, so here we are a few hours later, and everything is dried pretty well. So basically, I'm just going to take a piece of sandpaper. This is a tiny little square. I fold it up. And then I start the sanding procedure. Now I don't always do this, but if I feel like it needs some cleaning up, then I do. And this one does. So, whoa. So basically, I just kind of line it with the neck and start sanding. And I'm just kind of looking for an even kind of finish on it. So yeah, just want it to be an even looking mask. That looks looking a bit better. Go ahead and sand the front a bit. Let me unfold it a bit too. So basically, I'm just trying to get it to look even and, well, you know, symmetrical on both sides. So let's see. A bit more on that side. Again, if this was like actually for a custom, I probably would have spent a lot more time with the actual sculpt itself. But yeah, I think that, you know, it still looks pretty good. You see that it comes off into this powder type stuff. You know, the camera's a bit smudgy. That's a bit better. So yeah, just kind of, you know, I go about cleaning the bottom and trying to make it as even as possible in order to actually, you know, again, make it look better. I think that's pretty good. Again, I don't know what this you could use this for. Probably a dead shot, just because of the way the eye is. But yeah, so I hope that cleared up a bit. Let's see, trying to make it just smooth and even. So just kind of sand up the back, maybe the top a bit. So yeah, and it's basically for like my Lego Zoom. It's kind of this. It's just the same process, really. Just sculpting it, and then sanding it to try and make it look even. And I think that looks pretty darn good. Whoop, except for that little uneven bit right there. Let's see if I can fix that up. And you could, you know, take some time, get really, really detailed with it. Make it look really nice, but for right now, I think this serves purpose pretty well. I actually might use this. It actually kind of looks like a Deathstroke helmet. I don't know. I might make another version of Deathstroke. Interesting idea. Anyway, so yeah, now let's work on the Deadpool one a bit because that looks a little odd. Oh lordy, yeah, it looks really weird. All right, let's see. Try and take the top off a bit. It's a little too much up here. So yeah, this is pretty long process, honestly, with sculpting. But again, sculpting's not something that you should just rush into. You know, take time and actually do it right. You know, and practice with it is something that's important too. And you know, don't expect it to be perfect the first try. Practice makes perfect. So just keep working at it and practicing, and just keep touching it up until you know you're comfortable and confident in your sculpting skills. So I keep blowing the powder off the actual figure because it gets really messy. Let's see. I think that looks a bit better, a bit more smooth and rounded. And again, you know, once it's painted, it'll look 1,000 times better. Same with this here. In fact, I might cut the camera and paint it up and then come back just to kind of show you what improvements be made. Just trying to finish up the sanding. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful. Again, I don't want to have a video that's just sort of, you know, just kind of there. You know, I actually wanted to help you learn how to sculpt some stuff. So again, this is the process for the mask was what I used to do my like Lego Zoom. Of course, you know, Deadpool, and of course the shoulder pads that I showed you how to sculpt were used on my Arkham Knight Batman, which is right here. As well as the chest plate, I used that as well. So yeah, hopefully again you got something out of this, and yeah, again, thank you for 400 subs. So let's go ahead and wrap up this video. Alright guys, that about wraps up this video. Hope you guys liked it. If you did, make sure to leave a like as well as subscribe. 400! Crazy. Sorry if this video seemed a bit weird, like I was rambling or something. I was trying to keep it not too long, but still helpful. So I hope I did that okay, just because I didn't want another hour-long video. Mainly because I'm not sure how it uploaded, you know? Just because that's a long video. So hopefully this was helpful without being too long. And yeah, anyways, let's see how quickly we can get to 500 subs. You know, let's just try and get there, shoot there. That's crazy. That's a big one. That's a big milestone, I guess I'd call it. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And if I missed anything in this tutorial, make sure to let me know, and I'd be happy to show you how I sculpt something else. I don't really sculpt Lego knee pads at all. It's not something that I usually do. That's why I didn't show it in here, because I haven't actually done that yet. But if you would like to see how to do that, I guess I could show you in a future video. I've never tried it before, so yeah. Anyways, this has been Lego Freak. Peace.